The endless war. The war had gone on for far too long, 89 years. That's how long the galaxy had been burning. Two massive alien powers, the Zelkar Union and the Overon Alliance, had been fighting across star systems, destroying everything in their path. Planets were reduced to ash. Cities in the sky had fallen. Billions had died. Space was filled with the broken remains of ships and the silence of lost civilizations. The war had no winner, just pain, just death. And still, it continued. Every major empire in the galaxy had taken sides. Some joined for power, others joined for fear. No one stayed neutral except one. Earth. For years, Earth stayed quiet. It sent no soldiers. It fired no weapons. It made no speeches. While the galaxy burned, Earth observed. The other species laughed. The humans are cowards, said Zelkar generals. They build tech but have no will to fight, said Overon commanders. Even the neutral systems ignored Earth. Humans were called weak, soft, and slow. They didn't know the truth. Earth wasn't afraid. Earth was waiting. Far beneath Earth's surface, in a secret base hidden from the galaxy, a light turned on. Red, cold, silent. It flashed on a black screen. Threshold reached. A deep voice spoke from the dark. Galactic war has passed 89.3 years. Casualties unacceptable. Peace offers ignored. Operation Final Hour. Authorized. All over Earth, hidden stations began to wake. Black ships powered up. War AIs activated. Silent programs written long ago came alive. At Earth's orbital command center, Commander Elena Drake stood on a raised platform. Before her was a giant digital map of the galaxy, covered in red dots. Each red dot was a battle, a burning world, a dying system. She looked at her officers. "Are we ready?" she asked. "All systems green," one officer replied. "Fleets, in position." Countdown started. Elena nodded. "Begin the 5-hour protocol." Across deep space, alien ships noticed something strange. Unmarked objects, fast, silent, cold, entered their zones. No lights, no signals, just motion. In the Draskell, Sector 3 Overon battleships saw the strange crafts appear. "They're small," said one captain. "Probably drones." Another officer scanned them. "Human design, but very old. Are they testing us?" The captain laughed. "Humans? They wouldn't dare." A second later, his ship broke in half. The human crafts moved without sound, without mercy. Their weapons didn't fire lasers or missiles, they simply turned off the enemy's engines, then tore them apart. In under 2 minutes, all 3 Overon ships were gone. Not one human ship was hit. Back in the Galactic Council, panic spread. "We are under attack," shouted one Zelkar official. "By who?" The answer came quickly. From Earth. Every screen in the galaxy lit up with the same message. "This is Earth. For 89 years we watched. You called us weak. You brought war to our doorstep. That ends now. 5 hours, no more." Alien leaders were shocked. 5 hours for what?" asked the Overon Queen. But there was no reply. Only action. On Earth, Commander Drake watched the live feed. Enemy ships were falling across 27 star sectors. No Earth soldier had died. No orders were repeated. Everything was going perfectly. In the Zarnak system, 10 Zelkar ships tried to run. They entered warp space, but Earth had planned for that. Black, stealth satellites hidden in hyperspace lanes activated. One by one, the ships vanished without even a flash. By the end of the first hour, over 300 alien warships had been destroyed. No Earth ships were lost. No communications were received, just silence. The galaxy realized something terrifying. Earth had built its fleet in the shadows, and now that fleet was awake. Commander Drake looked at the countdown. Time left, 3:59. Her voice was calm. "This is not war," she said. "This is a correction." The silent launch, the galaxy was screaming. But Earth made no sound, no celebration. No loud warnings, no banners or flags. just movement. In deep space, black warships flew silently, cutting through the stars like shadows. No bright lights, no energy signals. They left no trails. And yet, they were everywhere. This was Earth's silent fleet, hidden, for centuries powered by dark energy and AIs that had never known failure. Each ship had one order: end the war. Do not speak, do not miss. In the Venari system, the Overan Alliance had gathered its fourth fleet, 120 battle-ready warships. They were waiting for Earth's next move. They didn't wait long. Out of nowhere, a single Terran ship appeared, small, black, silent. The Overan Admiral laughed. One ship? Is this a joke? Then his bridge lights died. The ship's systems failed one by one. Outside, the human vessel released a pulse, blue and invisible to the eye. Every enemy ship shut down at once, like candles snuffed out in space. Then came the second pulse, and everything exploded. No alarms, no shields, no escape, just quiet fire. Back on Earth, Commander Elena Drake stood at the center of Control Room 0, watching the galaxy fall silent. "How many sectors cleared?" she asked. 18, her officer replied. "No resistance left." Drake nodded. "Send next wave." No voice. No mercy. In the Tarkine Belt, the Zelkar Union tried to regroup. They had 800 ships, thousands of fighters, and one superweapon: the solar cutter. They planned to use it on Earth, but before they could power it up, strange symbols flashed across their systems. Alien code? No, it was Terran code. Ancient, aggressive, alive. It moved through their machines like a virus. One by one, ships lost control. The solar cutter's reactor was forced to overload. And then, boom. The entire fleet vanished in a white flash. On a distant trade station, civilians watched the news in horror. "Earth?" one alien asked. "They stayed quiet for so long," said another. "And now, they're everywhere." A child looked up. "Why are they doing this?" The elder beside him answered softly. "Because we made the mistake of waking a sleeping world." On the bridge of the TNS Phantom, a human AI spoke to itself. "Target Sector 22, eliminated. Next target, political control centers. Objective, remove all voices that benefit from war." The ship turned, engines silent. At the Galactic Council, a message arrived. Earth hadn't sent it. It had hijacked the Council's main system and broadcast this: 5 hours is not a threat. It is a limit. If you want peace, learn from silence. The screen turned black. No one spoke. Because now, they knew. In the final minutes of Hour 2, the number of enemy fleets left was less than 40%. Some were trying to run. Some were begging for peace. But Earth did not reply. Earth didn't argue anymore. It simply erased. Commander Drake looked at the galactic map. Whole regions were dark now. No battles, no messages, just stillness. She whispered to herself. They thought silence was weakness, but silence was training. Fire in the stars. The galaxy was on fire. But this fire didn't come from alien weapons. It came from Earth. And it was just getting started. Hour 3 began with a silent explosion in the Noraxis Nebula. A Zelkar command ship, 5 kilometers long, suddenly lit up from the inside. Its shields didn't fail. Its weapons didn't jam. The ship simply turned on itself. Its own systems had been hijacked. The crew lost control. One by one, defense systems aimed inward. Then, like a dying sun, it went dark and shattered into dust. No Terran ship in sight. The galaxy couldn't understand it. "Where are they?" screamed a Zelkar admiral. "Why can't we see them?" asked an Overan queen. But it wasn't that Earth ships were invisible. It was that they were everywhere. Hidden, silent, watching. And when they struck, it was like fire falling from the stars. In the Kirdan expanse, Earth deployed a new type of weapon. It had no name. It looked like a comet, long, glowing, fast. But it wasn't a rock. It was a human kinetic blade satellite, and when it entered the battlefield, it didn't explode. It sliced through 5 enemy cruisers without even slowing down. Back at Earth Command, Commander Elena Drake watched the destruction in silence. "Report," she said. "36 sectors cleared," her officer replied. "Enemy forces down by 72%. Any messages?" "Only one. The Overon are asking for peace talks." Drake didn't answer. She just stared at the screen. "No one listened when we asked for peace," she said quietly. Across the stars, Earth's attacks became more precise. On the Zelkar homeworld, their war council met in a deep mountain bunker. They believed it was safe, built with alien metals and layered in defense fields. They were wrong. At exactly 03:12:44 on the Galactic clock, the roof above them cracked open. A human drop drone the size of a transport pod came down like a hammer. It didn't explode. It opened, and what stepped out wasn't a robot. It wasn't a soldier. It was something worse. A Terran AI in humanoid form. Black, tall, silent. It looked at the council, and then the entire mountain collapsed. No survivors, no warning, only fear. The news spread faster than light. Alien governments started to fall apart. Warlords escaped in hidden shuttles. Leaders deleted their records, and the people, they watched the skies, waiting for Earth's shadow to fall. In the Zeta-9 broadcast hub, which connected over 400 systems, something terrifying happened. The feed was hijacked. All screens turned black. Then a symbol appeared, an ancient Earth. Eagle rusted but glowing red, a voice followed. "This is not revenge. This is removal. War is not our nature, but silence has limits." Then every screen showed live footage of Terran ships moving through space, silent, unstoppable, leaving burning trails behind them. The message was clear. No place was safe. Meanwhile, in orbit above a peaceful alien colony, a Terran ship appeared. The aliens prepared for death, but the ship didn't attack. Instead, it broadcast one line. "No weapon here. Your people never chose war. We pass." And the ship vanished. That moment spread just as fast as the attacks. Some called Earth monsters, but others began to understand. Earth didn't want power. It wanted peace. Real peace. And now, it was taking it by force. Commander Drake stared at the timer 01:59:46 remaining. She whispered to herself, "We gave them a chance, now we give them history." 5 hours begin. The galaxy was halfway through the countdown. 2 hours down. 3 to go, and already the war was nearly over. The alien species who once ruled the stars were broken. Their fleets had burned. Their leaders were either missing, hiding, or dead. But Earth kept going. This wasn't chaos. This was precision. 5-hour plan written centuries ago was unfolding exactly as designed. In the Tyrax command vault, the remaining Overon warlords screamed at each other. "They're not just attacking us, they're removing us. Call Earth, beg them to. Stop!" But Earth wasn't answering, because Earth didn't come to negotiate. It came to end the war. Across 30 star systems, strange Terran satellites dropped from light-speed corridors. They unfolded like metal flowers in orbit, spinning with silent elegance. Each one had a single function: disarm the galaxy. These satellites fired invisible pulses, disabling weapons, freezing engines, cracking encryption. Entire defense grids shut down in seconds. In the Sealan Rift, one of the last combined Zelkar Overon fleets stood ready. 1,000 ships. Their leaders believed this was their final stand. But the sky betrayed them. The stars shifted. Thousands of tiny objects, Terran hunter drones, descended like black snowflakes. They didn't explode, they landed on hulls, and then everything stopped. Inside the enemy ships, lights flickered, weapons locked. Crew screamed as airlocks opened without warning. The fleet tried to move, but the ships no longer obeyed. And then, As if in one heartbeat, the entire fleet vanished from radar. Just gone. Back on Earth, Commander Elena Drake stood beside the countdown, 5901, remaining. Sector 42 neutralized, her officer said. 0 human casualties. Drake didn't smile. She only said, "Good. Move to Stage 4. Stage 4 was planetfall, not for conquest, not for colonization, but to ensure war could never be restarted. In the capital cities of both empires, sleek Terran pods landed quietly in government centers, military archives, and data vaults. They didn't explode. Instead, they absorbed knowledge. Every weapon plan, every war order, every treaty broken, everything was taken, backed up, and deleted from existence. History would not be erased, but rewritten by truth. In the Arax research ring, alien scientists recorded what they saw. They do not destroy everything, only what causes war. Their tools are not just guns. They use data, control, precision. Earth is not conquering. Earth isn't cleaning. Meanwhile, a message appeared on a public broadcast screen in over 200 colonies. Earth does not want to rule, Earth wants peace, but if war returns, so will we. In orbit above the last remaining Overan city world, a massive black Terran dreadnought hovered. The sky turned red from its engines. No shots fired, no threats made. But the meaning was clear. One final mistake, and fire would fall. In the Galactic, Council's ruined hall, the last few ambassadors sat in silence. The Zelkar representative whispered, "Why did they wait so long?" No one answered, then a low voice echoed from a hidden speaker. It was Earth's final transmission. "You laughed at our silence. You feared each other more than peace. So we built something to stop you. 5 hours. That's all we need. This is not war. This is correction." Commander Drake stared at the map one more time. Only 16 red dots remained, and 2 hours left on the clock. She turned to her crew. "Let's finish what they started 89 years ago." The Galactic Collapse Hour 4 began with silence. Not the peaceful kind. The terrifying kind. Entire star systems had stopped sending signals. Galactic trade networks collapsed. Government servers were dark. Emergency channels buzzed with static. The Zelkar Union and the Overan Alliance, the two strongest empires in the galaxy, were crumbling from the inside. And Earth? Earth had not slowed down. In the heart of the Veltrax system, the last remaining Zelkar fortress turned its guns toward the sky. The commander, an old war veteran named Jiran Keth, stood tall before his soldiers. "We will not fall today," he shouted. "Earth is strong, but we are Zelkar." His men cheered, but then the lights dimmed. The guns stopped. Every screen turned red. A message appeared in Terran code. Too late. The fortress melted from within, without a single explosion. No enemy soldiers, just collapse. Above the Overan. Homeworld, dozens of their finest warships spun out of control. They hadn't been attacked. They had been rewired. Their own systems betrayed them. Engines overheated. Gravity cores reversed. Entire ships folded into themselves like paper. From the surface, it looked like falling stars. But those stars were their last defense. Inside Earth Command, Commander Elena Drake watched the countdown. Time left. 01:12:33. Officers stared in silence. The entire galaxy map was nearly dark. Only a few lights remained. Status of remaining enemy fleets? Drake asked. Scattered. Uncoordinated. Some are trying to escape, her tactical officer replied. Drake narrowed her eyes. No one escapes. In the outer rim, a small Overan convoy tried to flee through a wormhole. They didn't know that Earth had already hacked it. The moment the ships entered, the wormhole shifted. Not to another galaxy, but to nowhere. No wreckage returned. No signal escaped. Earth's final message to them was simple. Running ends here. Back on a neutral moon, a crowd of alien civilians gathered outside a broadcast center. They watched Earth's final message play on a loop. This is not conquest. This is conclusion. War was given 89 years, we gave it 5 hours, there will not be a sixth. An old alien turned to her granddaughter and said, I told you. They waited. They warned. Now, they correct. In the Galactic Council's ruins, the last remaining ambassador, a quiet scholar named Sathran Voss, sent a short message to Earth. Please, we surrender, not just our fleets. We surrender our pride. What do you want? There was no voice reply, only a message sent in quiet white text. We want peace. We are not staying, but if war returns, we will. Back on Earth, the command center lights dimmed. The mission timer hit Armada 59. Commander Drake stood and looked over the entire team. No more strikes, she said. Let the galaxy process what it's become. She walked to the main terminal and pressed a single button. Across the galaxy, all Terran ships stopped moving. They hovered silently above cities, ruins, and stars. And then, they turned around. No final shot, no last demand. Just a fleet of black, silent ships disappearing into deep space. Across every empire, the realization sank in. Earth had won. Without cruelty, without occupation, without asking for power. They came, not to rule, but to reset. In the final report sent from Overan High Command before it disbanded, one line was highlighted. Earth did not collapse the galaxy. We did. They simply cleaned up the mess. The last hour, the countdown had entered. Its final stage, 1 hour left, but something strange happened. Earth stopped attacking. Across the galaxy, Terran ships hovered in silence. No more pulses, no more weapons, no more destruction. They just waited, watching, observing, and that silence felt more terrifying than the war. On the Overan moon of Solaria, soldiers hid inside bunkers expecting the final strike. But nothing came. They looked to the sky, where a single black Terran warship floated like a shadow. It did not move. It did not fire. It simply stared down at them, as if judging. In the Zelkar command ruins, a surviving general called out on every emergency frequency. Earth, we surrender. Please. What do you want from us? But all he received was static, and then, for exactly 9 seconds, the screen flashed a chilling message. You had 89 years. We only need 5. Back at Earth Command, Commander Elena Drake stood silently, watching the galaxy-wide map. Only a few red dots remained. Scattered, dying systems still holding on to power. Her second-in-command approached, ma'am. They've stopped fighting. All of them. I know, Drake said. Fear has finished what weapons started. In deep space, the TNS Eclipse, one of Earth's oldest stealth cruisers, began a new task. It sent invisible drones to record war, crimes. Every betrayal, every hidden weapon lab, every system that sold war to the highest bidder. Earth wasn't just ending the war, it was collecting the truth. In the Miratal system, an alien colony saw a strange sight. A black cube descended from orbit, landing in the middle of a burnt battlefield. Civilians gathered around it, afraid to touch it. Suddenly, it projected holograms, videos of Earth's destroyed cities from 300 years ago, videos of humans begging for peace and being ignored. One line played at the end. You taught us that mercy is weakness. We remembered. Then the cube disintegrated into dust. All across the stars, alien civilians held their breath. Would Earth destroy everything? Would they take control? But Earth did neither. It just stopped. Terran ships began disappearing from radar, not warping away, turning invisible, cloaking. One by one, the fleet vanished, into silence, into deep space, into memory. At Earth Command, the final seconds of the countdown ticked. Conan 5, Corsi 4, 3, 2, Mango. Across the galaxy, every screen blinked once. Then a calm female voice spoke, soft, human, and final. 5 hours complete. The war is over. Remember this feeling. If war returns, so will we. No threats, no conditions, just truth. In the Galactic archives, a new entry appeared, the 5-hour war. No battles were listed, no enemies were blamed, only this. When Earth stood up, the galaxy sat down. Alien leaders tried to rebuild, but the people had changed. They didn't want more armies. They wanted silence. Like Earth. On a quiet planet at the edge of the galaxy, a child looked up at the night sky. "Will they ever come back?" she asked. Her mother held her close and said, "Not, if we remember what they taught us." Rise of the Terran legacy. The war was over. Not with peace talks, not with treaties, but with silence. And silence had a name now. Earth. In the days that followed the 5-hour war, the galaxy looked different. No ships burned, no soldiers fought, no weapons fired. Instead, a strange quiet settled across star systems, cold, deep, and heavy, the kind of silence that changes people. Leaders who once ruled with fear now walked with caution. Generals who once gave orders now listened before speaking. And civilians, they just watched the stars, wondering when Earth would return. But Earth didn't stay. It didn't build bases. It didn't take land. Its ships vanished into deep space, into the dark. On the over and home world, a new monument stood tall, not of their own heroes, but of a single black Terran ship, no name, no flag, hovering above fire. Below the statue it read, "They came, they saw, they erased war." In the Zelkar archives, a historian recorded his final entry. Earth changed everything, not with armies, but with 5 hours of precision. They didn't want to rule. They wanted to remind us. Power is not about destruction. It's about when and why you choose not to destroy. Far beyond the edge of the known galaxy, the Terran home fleet floated in silence. Not sleeping. Watching. Deep inside the TNS Eternity, Earth's oldest dreadnought, a voice echoed in the dark. "Mission complete. Species threat level neutralized. Legacy deployed. Status standby." Earth had not erased its enemies. It had erased the need for enemies. Across alien schools, children now studied a new subject, the Terran legacy. They learned how Earth stayed quiet for centuries, how it watched, prepared, waited, and then acted with terrifying calm. On a quiet moon, a group of alien children played a new game. They called it 5 hours. One child played as Earth, the others as the galaxy. They never lasted more than a few minutes. Back on Earth, Commander Elena Drake walked alone through a quiet garden. No alarms, no screens, just the wind. She placed a hand on a stone that read, "Peace is not the absence of war. It is the result of those strong enough to enforce it, then walk away." Behind her, the stars twinkled. Somewhere out there, war might rise again. But now, the galaxy knew. If it did, Earth would return, and this time there would be no countdown, only the sound of rustling stars,